Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today, a little bit late today, but to say some nice things about ourselves. Good morning, Tony. Nice to see you here today. Thanks so much for dropping on in and putting up with the technical issues that I've been having today. And boy, let me tell you, for some reason, my computer just does not want to recognize my webcam. What you gonna do? But anyways, I am nevertheless here and ready to do this. So, yeah, let's have some fun. It being Friday, I'm gonna pull the a card off the top of the deck. Ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. We're going to respond out loud. I am that affirmation. And then what will happen after that is I'll go over the cards for the week and see where they took us. So let's have some fun. Let's pull the card and say that today I am free. I am free. I release attachment and embrace possibility. So I am free. I release attachment and embrace possibility. Are you free? You are free. You release attachment and embrace possibility. I'm going to write that down in the comments. That I am free. I release attachment and embrace possibility. Freedom is such a wonderful thing, but it's also such a tremendous responsibility, because when we can do anything that we want, we can also do anything that we want. When we can do anything, we can also do anything, and that takes or carries with it a tremendous responsibility to to decide what it is that we are going to do and how it is that we're going to be. If we truly can have anything, then we have to be very specific and particular about what it is that we work toward. And that is, in its own way, a very difficult thing to do. Shakespeare did a lot with iambic pentameter, which is a very rigid form of poetry. And in having some rigidness, in having some boundaries, it gives us a framework within which to work. But the thing is that when we are truly free, when we release that attachment, not only can we can do anything, we have to decide what it is that's important to do. Because one of the freedoms of doing it, being able to do anything, is that we do nothing, and that's the danger of freedom, is that we do nothing. And I know that I've definitely fallen into that trap myself over the years many times, when I've had the ability to do whatever I wanted to, and I've used that ability to do absolutely nothing because I was paralyzed by choice. So when we release attachment and we embrace possibility, we also have to release attachment to the people, to who we are. We also have to release attachment to our fears and to our to the trepidations that we have about moving forward on the things that are most important to us. When we are free, when we embrace possibility, we have to embrace also the possibility that if we don't do the things that are most important to us, that eventually we will run out of time. So freedom itself, it carries with it a tremendous responsibility, a beautiful responsibility, a responsibility that's worthy of having, a responsibility nonetheless. And so I am free today. I release attachment and embrace possibility. And to what am I more attached than my concept of who I am? And what also limits me except my concept of who I am? The things that I've done in the past, I think to myself, I extrapolate those out to the future. I'm like, well, I have done this and I have not done that. So therefore, in the future, I'll do more of this and less of that. The reality is that everything that I've ever done, there has always been a first time for it. And so, I when I look at my own life and I ask myself, well, what is it that's holding me back from playing bigger and from being more? It always comes back to a fear of messing something up, or a fear of losing something that I have, or trading something good for something less good. But in the end, all of these things are manifestations of attachment. These things are manifestations of being attached to the current, the current reality, when the fact is that my current reality is something that I have because I released attachment to something else in the past, because I released attachment to another different fear, because I released attachment to another different version of who I was in the past. The fact is that I have a lot of really good stuff right now, and when I have a lot of really good stuff, I have a lot of stuff to lose, and that is another danger about freedom, is that once we start to get life the way that we like it to be, it becomes a lot more difficult to make the big sweeping changes that are necessary in order to get us to the next level, because we are, because we already have some type of quality of life that we have created for ourselves. But we have to push past this fear. We have to push past these ideas, and we have to move forward, knowing that the version of ourselves that is doing this is a version of ourselves that is more wise and more intelligent and more discerning than any version that has ever come before. The version of me that created the life that I have right now is a version of me that I would never willingly choose to go back to. That guy who created what I have right now, it has all manner of immaturities that this current version of me doesn't have. All manner of personal growth, that didn't happen yet. All manner of philosophies and positions and viewpoints on life that the current version of me has already tested and tried and decided to think differently. And so I am free, and I release attachment. I release attachment to my past self, and I embrace who I am becoming. And we always have to do this. And because if we don't do this, if we choose to stagnate, and let me tell you, just stagnation is indeed a choice, not one that any of us like to make, but it is a choice. If we choose to stagnate, if we choose to just cling to what it is that we have right now, then the world will pass us by. Our dreams will pass us by. Our lives will pass us by, and in the end we will wonder what on earth we did with our whole lives. So freedom comes with it, and it carries with it such a tremendous responsibility, a tremendous weight that comes with it, and that weight is worthy of carrying. That weight is worth, uh that weight is worth the price that we pay for it. The responsibility is the price that is worthy of being paid. Morning, Josiah. Wonderful to see you here today. You're a guy who just recently made a very big life change, and I know that the version of you that made the life change is somebody that, the Josiah of a year ago or 2 years ago never could have considered. So I'm proud of you for going off to a new city, and just, making a just making the difference in the world that you believe the world needs to have in it, and going to a place that you believe that you're going to be celebrated and that you're going to thrive. And I hope that you are being celebrated and thriving. I'm sure moving to Vegas has brought with it its whole new set of challenges, but also it's bringing with it a whole new set of rewards that previously was not open to you. And that's what freedom brings when we make choices. It brings forth a whole new set of rewards that we didn't even know that we had access to. It opens up a whole new slate of things that previously were completely off the table. But then once we take that leap of faith and we start playing in a bigger way, and we really start to embrace the possibility of who we are, and we decide on who we are becoming, then new and wonderful and beautiful and amazing things open up to us that we never thought that we could have had access to before. It happened to me to take me to where I am today, and it can happen to you too. And it's going to happen to me again when I go on to the next thing, and I will eventually go on to the next thing. I will eventually go on to being a bigger, better, bolder, brighter version of myself. I do it a little bit every day, but sometimes I have to take a quantum leap just like everybody else does, and release attachment to who I was in the past so I can embrace who I am becoming. So let's talk about the cards from the week and see where they took us. And this week was really cool. This week was really cool because the cards from this week were cards from my original deck. So I'm very excited about these. So we started off the week with an intent the with the affirmation that we are grateful, that we recognize and value the good in our lives. And when we recognize and value the good in our lives, it allows us to be devoted to the good in our lives because our commitment is strong and enduring. We affirmed after that we are helpful, that we recognize and support genuine needs because we do. And when we are devoted to other people, when we are devoted to ideas, it's easy to be helpful. It's easy to recognize and support genuine needs. And when we're grateful for what we have, it's easy for us to understand what we have an abundance of, so that when we see somebody else has a genuine need and we have an abundance of something that matches that genuine need, well, we can just be a blessing in that person's life. All of these things make us good, and we act with empathy and integrity. We care about the people around us, and more importantly, we live in accordance with a set of values that are are very much that are very much intentionally chosen. And of course, all this leads to our last card of the week, which is that we are free. We release attachment and embrace possibility. It being Awesome Saturday tomorrow, and it is Awesome Saturday tomorrow, we of course always celebrate the fact that we are awesome. And so let's recognize our inherent value and worth. We are inherently valuable, we are inherently worthy, we are inherently deserving of the life that we're living. And so as we as we exercise our freedom today, as we release attachment to who we used to be, and we embrace who we are becoming, because every day we are becoming somebody new. Then let's recognize that we are inherently valuable, that we are inherently worthy, that just by being on this earth today, that we have the ability to change the world. And so let's do that. Let's be bold enough to do that. Let's be brave enough to do that. Part of freedom is the bravery to detach from the things that are holding us back and allow ourselves, like these little seeds, to fly on the wind. And as we do, we don't exactly know where it's going to take us. But let me tell you, the seed that is attached to the flower never goes very far. The one that flies on the wind is going to land in a place that it has never even heard of, and that it can't even conceive of, far, far, far away, and ultimately be able to to spread and propagate the plant. So I am free. You are free as well. We release attachment and embrace possibility today. All right, my beautiful friends, I love you. I appreciate you. I care about you. I think that you're awesome. I appreciate all of you, you guys, tuning into the wake up call about 30 minutes later than I usually do it. I will figure out what the heck is going on with my webcam, and hopefully be back on my big computer here. Um, be back on my big computer tomorrow for the Awesome Saturday service. If you want to catch the Awesome Saturday service, it'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. And looking forward to having one of those. But until then, I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. I think y'all are amazing. I will talk to you tomorrow at 11. Or if you're going to catch the wake up call on Monday, it will be at 9 a.m. on Monday. Until then, aloha from paradise.